right, today's guest is actually a really old friend of mine, Mr. Neal Chin. Welcome, sir.
Hey, how's it going, man?
It's been a while. It's been a while. And I swear this year, I feel like it's been like 2 years.
Yeah,
Like,
that sounds about right.
yeah, like it's already November, and just how have you been? It's been a minute.
Yeah, no, it's been all right. It's been all right. I mean, everything considered, of course, I consider myself to be one of the lucky ones, with everything with transitioning and whatnot to being at home and being in quarantine and whatnot. Um, Things on my end have been, relatively smooth,
Oh, good.
all things considered, right? All things
Right.
considered. I guess try to be positive too, try to be positive too. But,
Definitely.
yeah, I mean, it's been not that bad up here in Seattle. I mean, just been doing a lot of teaching and whatnot, and love
Good.
doing it. So
So that's like a lot of online stuff, or
yeah, yeah. Actually, it was I remember when quarantine first hit, I was a little worried about, students and if they'd be kind of like hip to, doing like online classes and stuff because that's not what a lot of people signed up for. They like having the in-person connection and stuff, but I was pleasantly surprised that everyone was like, yeah, let's just like move right over, if they could, of course, with the
right, right.
access to it. But
Yeah.
yeah, there's so many people. I mean, at this point now too, I mean, not only am I still teaching those students, but there's been a surge too. There's a lot of people at home looking to learn how to play ukulele. So
Good. I mean, now when everyone has a lot of free time.
exactly. And
That
it's,
that's
yeah,
good. That's good,
yeah,
man. I mean, yeah. I mean, towards the beginning, I mean, I think it was a little tough for everybody.
yeah.
So, it's like, did you have anything going on this year?
Yeah, man, I was like super stoked because I was like, it was going to be my what's the word? There's a good expression, like my banner year, I had like, like 10 festival, camp
Oh,
gigs, set
wow.
up throughout the year. I know, with like a bunch of new cities and places like that too, which I was super stoked to do, but
Dude, where were you gonna
you
go?
know, no can't help.
Oh,
Well,
man.
I was gonna do a lot of my, regular stuff that I do up here in Oregon or excuse me, in Washington and Oregon.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I forgot where I was for a second. No, no, no. In Washington and Oregon, but no, I was really excited. I'm gonna do like the LA Ukulele Festival, the
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Cynthia Kinnan's Ukulele Festival up in Canada, the
Canada, right.
Guelph. Of course, the Midwest Uke and Harmonica Camp,
Oh, right, yeah.
and Alahengni. That was going to be another one too. That was going to be a new one.
Mm.
Ashokan too. That was another one. Anyway,
Wow. Oh,
I was,
man.
I know I was super, super,
Oh,
super, super stoked. I was just like totally emotionally and mentally prepared to just like kind of doing all this stuff. But again, as great as that is, it's like being in a good situation instead of a great situation. So very,
yeah.
very blessed. Knock on wood.
There you go. The perfect wood.
The perfect wood, the
Cedar,
good toad
right?
wood, cedar. Yeah, right.
Oh, man. Well, hopefully you have the opportunity to do it maybe in the following year. I mean, I've had some stuff which it was not really canceled but postponed.
Oh yeah, yeah. Right.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that's just cool, man. I feel you though. Like I feel like everything was just
You too, I'd
lost in the
imagine.
span of like just a couple days. Like I think it was like mid-March. I mean, it was like, oh my gosh. And just yeah. I mean, for me it took like a couple months to recover. I'm not sure how the transition was for you. But you seem like
Yeah.
you were pretty busy.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like what's the expression you just kind of had to do it, I mean um I had to, kind of like I was still running a studio. That's why like kind of a small, small like in-person studio too.
Right.
And so it was a little rough. Yeah, I did have to close those doors, and I was like, I was being very, very stubborn about closing those doors and whatnot. But it was
Yeah.
just for the best and just to, save money. Not no sense pay rent if no one's coming in for in-person classes. So,
That's true.
but
Mm.
yeah. Just a lot of private teaching. I mean, just right off the bat, I mean, and it was so. I have to admit, so wonderful because we didn't know how long this was going to last or anything, right? It was like every week was like every day actually, right? It
Yeah,
was like
yeah, it
I
was
don't
like
know what's going to happen.
do you remember when everyone was like, "Oh, June 1st, we're good to go"?
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
like,
it's like
uh,
I was like maybe September, but look, man, it's still the same. And
right,
I mean, there's a part of me that like kind of secretly hopes, okay, January, but we
R-
still don't know,
sure,
man. I mean,
right.
you know how depressing that would be if we're still here like this time next year.
Don't even, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Oh man, don't
I don't
even.
know how many would. Dang, man.
Oh,
Well,
no
it's
joke,
definitely
man.
good to catch up with you, my friend.
Yeah,
It's been
likewise,
too
dude.
long. Yeah, we always catch up whenever I come up to Washington or Neal comes to Maui. But let's
Yeah.
touch up on that real quick. You know, I've known Neal probably the longest out of all the ukulele players.
Yeah, yeah, actually, yeah, probably. Actually, me too. Like, I mean, that's definitely mutual.
Definitely, definitely. So
Yeah.
before we talk about how we first met, I just for those who don't know, how did the ukulele journey begin for you?
Yeah. So I actually started playing ukulele in fourth grade. We just had it in class. And so we just would every morning would sing, Hawaii Pono'i and Hawaii
Oh, right,
Aloha.
right.
And and it was nice because once in a while we would have like a little bit of time to like practice, or just play, whatever we wanted to our three chords and stuff like that. And I'll never forget this. Yeah, actually there was a friend of mine, Jacob Wong, and he knew how to play like A minor, and that was like a big deal at that point. Because we're doing like CFG, kind of thing, and
Right, right.
having like he was like, oh, I could teach you the song Surf, and so he taught me how to play
Oh,
Surf, and I was just like, okay, all right, I guess we're gonna do this.
yeah, 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 nice. So Surf was
No,
probably one of your first tunes then, too, then.
yeah, oh, that was for sure, for sure. Like of my own action, I mean, I guess technically it would be like, Three Blind Mice or something or Hot Cross Buns, but you know, yeah, it was the first song that I, actively.
Ah,
But
so you were, what is that? You were about, what is that, 12 years old?
I was nine, nine,
Oh, okay, okay.
nine. Yeah, yeah. And then after that, took private lessons the following year. Um,
Oh,
and then yeah, actually, I think it was the following year after that, if it lines up correctly. That's where I started attending the contest, the ukulele contest
yes.
in
It was
Kaanapali.
2006, and I just
Hey,
remember
very nice.
you played, and I remember you played Blue Roses Falling.
Yeah.
And kind of back in the day, there was only a few of us that played like Jake Shimon Girl songs. So
Yeah.
I remember I went up to you after. I was like, "Oh man, I know that song. Good job," or something like that. And that's where I met you. And that's where I met your
Right.
brother too.
Right.
And
Right.
not a lot of people know that you have a brother that plays ukulele too.
Yeah.
How's
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
doing?
Yeah, he's doing great actually. I was just talking story with him. He's in Arizona actually studying and getting his degree in music right now. So
Wow, that's pretty
yeah.
cool. He
Yeah.
plays the kola, right? The thin body.
Yeah, that's a one of these days, Bubba, you're gonna play it. It's a really cool little ko'olau. It's a like chambered electric, like semi-hollow, body, and yeah, it's such a sweet little thing. I love it. But
That's
yeah,
pretty.
anyway, he plays on a ko'olau for sure.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I see his profile picture with him. But yeah, so that's where we met. And then I
Right.
remember I think we ran into each other. Was it a couple of Jake concerts here in Maui?
Yeah.
And
Pretty
then,
much went like every year, I feel like.
right. I know
Yeah.
for sure, 100%, we went to Charlie's. That was an
Yes.
epic concert. That was an epic day. And then you and your
Oh,
brother came
yes.
down. We're getting Jake to sign stuff. And I'm like, hey, what's up, you
Yeah.
guys? It's been forever. And then shortly after that,
Oh,
it was
good
2000,
times.
yeah, so 2007. And then that's when we were in the same bracket.
That's right.
And,
That's right.
and think about that bracket now. Remember who we were with? It's stacked.
Oh my goodness. Off the top of my head, I remember was Kristen that year? Was she in that year?
No, no, wait. She was with your brother or she was in your bracket? Were you
Yeah,
guys in the
okay.
same bracket?
No, I think she was one. I think she's like a grade or two, a couple years older than me or something like that. So I think there was a point where we were in the same bracket or
Yeah.
something. I forget to be honest with you. I forget. But
I
that
think
must be it.
I think, so your brother, and Kristen were in the same bracket?
I think so. I mean, I definitely remember her being in my bracket one year.
Yeah, I think that's the year she won, right?
Right, 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 right. That's what I
Right.
remember.
So that was
No,
2006.
no, no,
But
no, no.
the one that I'm talking about, actually, because I have a picture of it too, is actually me, you, and Kalai Camarillo.
Ah,
Dude.
okay.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
remember, and
Oh
then the
my
first year I didn't
goodness.
know we had to sing to place.
Oh, wow. Man, you have good memory, man. Wow. Or maybe I just have bad memory. That's probably
I
what it
hope
is,
it, I hope
actually.
it jogs something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
And
crazy, man. Yeah.
because I remember just coming a second, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to
Yeah.
sing something. So I sang actually Jake's brother's song, and I threw Guava Jam in there, and then I played what did I think it was me and Shirley T
Oh,
or something.
yeah. Oh my goodness, I remember that. So is that was that Broken Pieces that you sang?
Oh,
That's
bits and pieces.
Bits and Pieces? Let's go. Oh shoot. Okay. Shucks.
Yeah, yeah.
Bits and
Hey, it's
Pieces.
Clay. You're close, man. Yeah,
Hey,
bits.
okay. Okay.
You were at least you remember the song.
Not bad. Not bad,
Nice,
Mr.
man.
Chin. Not
Nice.
bad.
And you sang something
By the Beatles.
by the Beatles. I want to say you fused it with another Jake song though, or like you sang something, and then you sang something, and then I think you played.
Right.
I don't know if it was Touch or something, but I remember.
Oh, probably.
Right,
Probably.
right. I think it
Probably.
was Touch because I remember, and because my mom used to love that song, and she goes, "Oh, Neal's playing Touch." I was like, "Yeah, he is." She goes, "You should have played that." I was like, "No, it's okay."
Oh, that's such a good song. Yeah,
It
that's such
is.
a
It,
nice
it
song.
is. It is a good song. It's very a lot of different chords in there, and yeah, that's like that reminds me
Such a
of my
mellow.
childhood. And
Right.
then I remember, so you played that. And I remember, it was just awesome to watch. And then comes Kala'e with the backwards thing, right?
Right. Wow, that's
And then
right.
because he had that
Oh,
persona like, oh, it's Kala'e, he's entering. Oh my gosh, like he was
oh
like
yeah.
the
It was a I
yeah,
remember
that
it
was
was a
yeah. So
thing.
if you think of it, looking back, I mean, look at the competition we were working with.
Wow, that's
And
so
it's so
crazy.
cool to see everybody what they're doing now. You know,
Yeah,
Kalai just
totally.
won a Hoku. You're very
Yeah.
successful, and then
Yeah.
it's just really cool to see, man.
Yeah. Look wow, look how far we've all come,
I
Look
know.
how far.
It
Oh,
really, yeah, man. Definitely, we all gotta have a jam session or something.
oh
I mean,
dude.
really no
Sounds
excuse.
so
Everyone's
good.
just like an island apart. I mean, except for when you come back. Oh
Yeah, for
man,
sure, dude. That sounds wonderful.
that was. And then I remember like I was like waiting for the results, and then you ended up winning like two ukuleles. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Yeah, yeah, and I
That's a
think that
G
was the
string, right?
year. Yes, okay, that was the year. That ukulele too. That one's so nice. I think that was the year that I think my brother and I entered the group too competition. It was
Oh,
either that or the previous year. I forget because that's why I remember getting two ukuleles because there was one because in the group competition they were giving away ukuleles in the group competition too, which I
yeah,
thought was
that's right. They were giving like
nuts.
kamakas and stuff back in the day.
So I remember that time, yeah, walking away with two ukuleles, the Amele ukulele from the group, and then the G string, which
Damn, a former
oh
champion we
man,
got over here.
man, it was so crazy. I mean, I remember as a kid thinking like, I don't get this. I mean, I was like, like it just,
Yeah,
I don't know,
well,
caught apart.
I think it was like one was for like some kind of grant or something, or just to help
Uh,
you because you were like, I don't know if you
yes.
said it in your introduction, but you were gonna get into teaching, so they said, "Oh, we want to help you out more." So they gave you the second ukulele, if I recall, not 100%.
Wow, that's crazy. I remember there was something to the effect of that because I know it was that year and the previous. Oh no, that was that year. Wow, this is so bad. I always get that. I get those years mixed up a little bit.
It's okay. It's very
Oh
2006,
no.
2007.
Yeah. But I went to the camp too, Uncle George's
Oh, right,
camp
right.
after that. And I think that was part of yeah, I remember that being a crazy thing because it was like that G string ukulele, and then the scholarship for the thing, I think, the camp for the
That's what
week,
it was. Yeah,
which
yeah.
was nuts. Yeah. I mean, that was a life-changing experience for me, I can safely say.
Dang. I remember I got invited, but I think I can't remember what years, but I never went. So I was just curious, like, how did it go?
It was really, really cool. I would drive back and forth. I remember that was a little humbug because Kula and then the
Oh, right.
The
Yeah, that's
Pili
like
too. Ooh,
opposite sides.
ooh. Man, oh man. But no, like it was really cool because that was my first introduction to like a lot of great Hawaiian musicians. Like it's so crazy. Even at the time, like I didn't even bat an eye at it, thinking about it. And then like a year later of just with a little bit of understanding. Because like that's the first time I met Urbota Jr. That's the first time I
Oh,
met
right.
David Kamakahi. First time I met Jeff Peterson. Dennis Kamakahi too. Uncle Dennis was teaching a songwriting class. It was
Wow.
like
That's cool, man.
it was such a lovely experience, and of course Uncle George too teaching, and I got to meet Sterling and Seaton, you know, and like hang out with Peter and stuff like that,
Oh
and
yeah, Peter got to run the contest too. Uncle George
yeah,
was one of the judges. I think that even Derek Sebastian was there.
that's right. At
Uncle
that
Kevin
point,
Brown,
that's
man,
right. Yeah, the Browns, yeah, Uncle Kevin
some
too.
had some major roots, man.
Yeah, yeah, that was such a cool experience, you know. Like, gosh, man, so lucky to live, you know, grow up on Maui.
For sure, for sure. It's just yeah, it's just cool to know. Yeah, another ukulele player that's just killing it now from Maui.
Yeah, dude, we gotta stay united, us
For
Maui
sure,
guys, right?
for sure. What's the the contest? Was that your first time playing in front of an audience?
Yes, that was the that first, yeah, the when I was I think it was in fifth grade or something like that. I think that was the first year that I had entered with a friend of mine, and
Hmm.
yeah, I think we placed in fifth of six groups or something.
Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah. When you first
uh,
enter, it's pretty. Yeah, that was my first time entering too, and I just remember as soon as like, everyone's watching, right? I mean, you're used to playing in your room or at recess, and I just remember like
yes,
shaking. And I
shaking.
remember I screwed up Orange World so bad the first year, and my friends, they're so nice. They're like, "Oh, the amp was messed up."
Oh, that's
It wasn't
nice.
the amp, bro. It was my fingers are stuck.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They just get, yeah.
Dang. Yeah, man. But I thought you pulled off Blue Roses and Touch pretty solidly. This,
Hey,
despite being from
thanks,
audience,
man.
I remember that.
Hey, thanks, man. Oh,
Yeah,
it's a good
so
time.
that's kind of how we
Good
met,
time.
a long
Yeah,
time ago. Good times, right? We haven't talked about it in a long time.
yeah,
And
it is
then,
good times.
yeah, and then the craziest thing was like you totally just disappeared, man. Like, and I always wondered whatever happened to Neal Chin. So like after that, is that when you went to Oahu?
Yeah, yeah. Um, I was, well, full disclosure, I was, I by like my senior year of high school, I was kind of checked out already. I was like
Oh,
ready to like go to UH and, you know, just honestly, what I wanted to start gigging. And at that
ah,
point, I was actually playing a lot of guitar. And so, my one of my
oh,
buddies actually was spending his first year there, and I was actually flying up there. I would say like almost once a month from Maui to Oahu just to go and hang out at UH, and we would play music, and I'd sleep on the floor at his dorm and stuff like that. It's good times.
dude, it's
Um,
college life.
yeah, I know that doesn't paint what happened for the next couple of years. That that was my
Oh, I
life right
see.
there after
Yeah,
that.
I
Yeah.
think I remember seeing you like a couple pictures that came up on your Facebook, and you were like, "Yeah, I remember you seeing you with an electric guitar."
That was, yeah, that was a different Neal Chin. Definitely different Neal Chin there. But yeah,
Man,
playing only I mean, I played a little bit of ukulele, I did some recording and stuff like that too, but mostly just guitar. I just wanted to be Stevie Ray Vaughan and somewhere
oh
between
man,
that
oh,
and
so you're playing
Hendrix.
blues then stuff.
Yeah, that was definitely
Oh,
my main
dude.
focus. It was like I wanted to I remember this. I acquired discographies of BB King, Eric Clapton, and Jimi Hendrix, and spent my whole freshman year of college just basically listening to the discographies and trying to like play
Wow.
like that. That was what that year was dedicated. It was fun. It was a great
Oh,
time, and to the dismay of my teachers, of course, but it was fun.
I didn't know about that. Damn, that's pretty cool. And then I think you told me that you started teaching a little bit, right? Uh,
Yeah, gosh, it's just it. But I look back, I just so completely blessed through all of it. Just so lucky with each encounter. I feel like because it's like when I moved to Oahu, I was just in school and whatnot. Well, attempting school, and I immediately just within my first year of being there, I actually started teaching at Ukulele Hale with Jody Kamisato, um, and
oh,
it was
okay.
such a
That
great
part I didn't
experience.
know yet. I thought you were teaching at Pua Pua, right?
Yeah, so that was before. That was before that. Yeah, I was teaching at Ukulele Hale for a couple of years, and
Okay.
then slowly had to, it was hard living on Oahu. No, no. No, at the time I had to,
Boy,
especially
in
had to
general.
run, at least like two jobs just to like pay rent and stuff like that. And so that's where I started working at the ukulele shop. Actually, first was Ukulele House, and then Ukulele Pua Pua, like in the mornings, and then I'd go teach in the afternoons, and then go gig at night. So it was
Oh,
like Oof. It was fun. It was really fun. It was a really
No, I
I look
bet.
back at it fondly.
I mean,
But
that's like the early
exhausting.
20s years, yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Nice, man.
Good times.
And then when did you go up to Oregon?
2014, 2014.
Oh, okay, that's the same year I actually saw you for the first time in like 7
That's yeah,
years.
exactly, exactly. So I think it was that first year I was there, and I had slowly, basically had gotten a job at this ukulele store called Pacific Winds, and then I think you reached out to me or either the store, I forget whatever whoever it was, and it's like Andrew Molina, no way, Andrew Molina
Oh
can
my gosh.
that could be in Oregon, and then you came, and I was so stoked. I mean, it was that was a if you look it up, folks, on YouTube, there is footage of this too.
Yeah.
Um,
No, and also I'll make sure to provide some. I got some old school pictures of us too that I'm gonna be placing within this podcast. Good
yeah.
stuff, man. I
Oh
know which
man.
video you're talking about too.
Yeah, I remember because you were
Okada.
like, yeah, exactly. You were like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, yeah, we gotta play Staccato. I was like, oh crap, I gotta practice Staccato. I remember that.
But you
That
know
was
why I
that
chose
was
that
fun.
song is because I remember you were playing it at the contest. Because I think it was a song that I heard. I was like, oh, Neil, did you hear that song? I don't know why. Like for some reason, that song growing up, it was just like, especially with the you're familiar with like the two versions, right?
No, no.
Oh,
I mean, I only know the Pure Heart, you know, um, one from the
okay, okay.
CD.
Yeah, there's one Jake release. I think it was on Bruce's album, but the comping chords is different, right? Because when you have the basic
Oh,
toccata
cool.
line that climb, it's
Yeah,
usually
yeah,
over
yeah.
a D minor, right?
Right.
But this one, I don't. You don't remember this one? It's like it goes
No,
D
I don't think
minor,
so.
A, D minor, G minor. Da, da, da. It's yeah.
Oh, that part,
So
right?
so it's like da 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 da, and then it's like D minor, and then A, D minor, G minor. It sounds
Oh, that
very
would sound
different.
good. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
no,
can hear it.
it's like so that's the version I grew up with. So like
Ah,
for the longest time when I saw people playing D, just D minor, I'm like, hey, what's going on over here?
yeah.
But I think it's just a different version. But yeah, that Toccata was like the one that I was
Oh,
like, oh my gosh, that thing is so cool. Because I think I heard
yeah.
that version before the Pure Heart version.
Oh,
Okay,
cool.
we might
That's
have to
cool.
jam that version next
All right,
time.
I'll go look them up, bro. I'll go practice the chords.
Dude, yeah, yeah. It's actually off of the Bits and Pieces album from Bruce.
Oh, you know, I think if I think I have a copy of that CD. Like I have a physical CD of
Right.
it
Like
in
I think
my
he has like the
collection.
beanie on or something.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure isn't Jody on that album? Jody Kamisato, isn't he play bass or something?
Oh, maybe
Speaking of
he
Jody,
might. I'm not actually sure. He
all
might
right.
be. Yeah.
Oh wow, oh,
Yeah,
yeah, cool too.
you might have heard that version before, but oh my gosh, I don't remember how we even got there, but oh no, because we played Toccata at Pacific
Yeah,
Winds.
up in Oregon. Yeah, 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 yeah.
And
In
then
Eugene, Oregon.
yeah, and is that where like you said you met Craig there too, yeah?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I basically moved there like a month after Craig left, just for San Diego.
Oh,
So
did
it
you know
worked out
Craig
really
before
nicely.
that?
No, no,
Oh,
no.
really?
Yeah, it was really funny. I mean, because it's like I think it was like about a year of living in Eugene before I actually met Craig. So Craig left such a strong presence in that town when he left that like everybody was like talking about him. Oh, Craig Chi, this. We built the studio for Craig Chi. The
Oh
musician,
wow,
the
he was
ukulele
like
people know. Yeah, and I would think like, who the heck is this guy, Craig Chi? I don't even know who this guy is. And of course, you give it a year later, and now
oh
he's
my
like
gosh.
super super good friend.
Yeah, no, Craig is
I love
Craig's the
that
best
guy.
man. Oh, when I sit down and talk with him,
Guy.
I'm like, dude, I didn't know you were like a legend in Eugene.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy that like I love hearing his stories about it because like yeah, I mean apparently he played in like a funk band and would like play like often like play out like a lot um
Ukulele?
ukulele like in a funk band like in a funk jam and
Wow.
stuff like which is like I salute you for
We're
doing
gonna have to make
that.
some requests next time we see him.
I
Dude, we gotta. I
know.
want to see some of your funk roots.
Yeah, dude, I would be so stoked. Oh my goodness, yes.
I mean, I was at least I was able to like get him to play Just Press at that was at Uke University.
Oh yeah, yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
There's actually a video of me. I think he played it right in front of me. Like I sat on stage on a chair. I can't believe he did that.
That's,
Like,
sit down, sit down. That's
that was just so hilarious. He goes, I don't have to play this ever again. But I think in secret, he likes to play that song.
It's one of those like one
It's
of
like
those
his
like, you know,
crazy
stop,
G,
stop, 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 stop. Yeah.
right?
Like
Right?
crazy.
Oh
Right, right.
man. Oh, that is such good memories. And yeah, and when did you make the transition to your iconic jazz style?
Oh, ooh, iconic. Ooh, I've never heard
Oh,
that
it's
term
iconic,
before.
man.
Oh, I'll take
Yeah, if you don't know,
it. Just kidding.
Neal is very proficient in the jazz genre, and
Oh, I'm
man,
still
just
trying.
like just listening to you last time, man, you're just so tasty with your licks, and it's just a
Hey,
pleasure to listen to, man.
hey, thanks,
You
man.
should have
Thank you.
and then I know you do like what's it called, noodling on Mondays. You should
Yeah.
just advertise it as Neal's Tasty Noodles.
Tasty noodles. Yeah.
You could also open up your food truck too.
Yeah, I know. I think I was talking with Pat from Kala. We were talking about
Oh
like,
yeah, yeah.
oh, you should start your own cooking channel, bro. You can make it noodles and But you know, uh, in high school, I fell in love with jazz. Actually, it was around that time, actually 2006, 2007, around there. I was started playing music with a friend of mine, Max Benoit, and his parents are jazz musicians on Maui, the Benoit Jazz Works.
Hmm.
And I would just go out and hang out with him a lot of the times, and just like in the corner would like hear his parents play and ended up going and watching them play, of course, too, at the regular gigs and whatnot. And I can honestly say that that was like a big spark for me. So
Okay.
um, that was when I started listening, and that's when I feel like it counts for like starting to learn, because especially, well, any genre of music, right? You got to listen a lot, but definitely with jazz, you got to listen to a lot of stuff, right? Um, but
Right.
I feel like I spent a lot of time also, actually, funny enough, working in the ukulele stores. Yeah, like there's a lot of like there's not a lot, but when there would be like downtime and whatnot in between customers, you just sit there and there's like 30 ukuleles around you, right? Like from like the best to the worst, and a great bunch of books. So, I actually just, I'm sure a lot of people out there too are familiar with like the Jumping Jim books,
Oh,
like the
right, right. That's like,
ukulele master books, like the Orange book, the Lau Ritz book,
oh, right. There's a green one
the
too,
song.
right?
Yeah, the
The
John
classical
King,
one.
the green one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
right, exactly. Those are fantastic books. They're great.
I think I used
Um,
to have the orange one.
yeah, the orange one I still use to this day. I mean, I use it for teaching and whatnot. And they're
Okay.
just fun. They're fun arrangements to play. But I spent a lot of time, just like, in the evenings and whatnot, just playing those off of those books and trying to just like learn song after song. I mean, it really was just a labor of love, because I wasn't playing
Hmm.
jazz out anywhere or anything like that. I was basically doing rock and roll gigs and folk, indie, guitar.
I think that's why I was like surprised because yeah, like you said, you had this era of like blues and
Mhm.
electric guitar, and all of a sudden you're like a jazz ukulele. Like I'm like, whoa, that's quite a transition, I guess.
Yeah, that and it it's interesting is that like I've been trying to really kind of focus on that era of my life and trying to pull influence from it right now,
Hmm.
because it's been really nice kind of like revisiting the blues in earnest, after studying jazz for a little while. So it's nice because it's a lot of that time, spent working and playing guitar, a lot of those elements I feel like directly transfer, like I got good at solo, not good, but I got better, I should say, at soloing during that time.
Oh, you're so modest.
And now I feel like, there's elements of that I try to channel or think of, of how would I solo on a guitar, Oh, I can do the same on the ukulele, but
Hmm.
you add the touch to make it
That's
sound
a
like
good
the ukulele.
subject to talk about. Like, what is your approaches to? I guess one would be arrangements, and then the second would be improvisation. Is that a
Yeah.
hard question?
No, man. I mean,
Okay.
I just feel bad because I could talk about this like forever. So
Hey,
just
we're
tell me when
listening.
you just tell me when to shut up and I will stop,
Okay.
No, I mean, like, okay, so uh making arrangements are one of the things that I also drove me, I feel like, to playing jazz ukulele, just because it really was not necessarily that I was trying to play jazz, but I was just trying to play these tunes that I really liked. So Fly
Hmm.
Me to the Moon was one of the first ones, Autumn Leaves, For Sentimental Reasons, All the Things You Are. Like these songs just they got stuck in me. And so I just wanted to be able to, put them out there. And that's where things like the Jumping Jim book really helped out, actually, especially at that point. But I started off with just like jazz, like fake book sheets with just like chord and melody, and that's it on the page. And then yeah, just what I usually will do is I will comp the chords for a long time and practice singing them, and then
Oh, okay.
after that, then of course work out a melody and like some kind of fingering and whatnot, and then basically from there, just try to let go a little bit and just let the arrangement kind of fall into itself. Let those two elements kind of come naturally, so it
Mm,
doesn't feel too stiff or anything like that. Because I'm a big advocate of trying to surprise myself with my arrangements and playing. Because
yeah.
that's, I guess, one of the gifts of having bad memory. No,
Oh
yeah.
man.
Blessed are the forgetful. So
And just yeah, and just your like where do you even begin? Like I guess when you hear your set of chords and you start to improvise.
yeah, yeah. Improvising is something I feel super passionate about because even when I was playing guitar and whatnot, a lot of it was highly improvised.
Mm-hmm.
Part of it, just being fully honest, part of it can be, I would can safely say, is developing the skill of improvising. But a lot of it at that point too was I never practiced, so I would just show up to the gig and you just had to try to sound good.
Yeah. And where
And
did you learn the sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I was
no,
just gonna ask, where did you learn your when did you learn your theory background?
That's funny. It's the theory came as a necessity to play jazz. Like when I was playing
Oh, yeah.
guitar mostly, I mean, like I would know keys and whatnot, and like I would play in either major or minor, but that was
Yeah.
like it. Like could kind of follow changes and whatnot, but I would basically be like, oh, what key is this, an E? Okay, I'm just gonna play an E
Right.
pentatonic or something like that. But actually, I distinctly remember I wanted to learn how to play the song "All of Me," the
Mm-hmm.
"All of Me, why not take all of me?" And
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I started, I would put on like the backing track and started soloing along, and I found that like my playing sounded pretty good in some spots, and then terrible in others.
Yeah, and with jazz, there's so many changes going on, right? It's just like you have to be able to hit the notes, the correct notes. And that's the hardest part. And it's like I had a chat with Abe about this a while back, and he says it's being creative around the notes you can't hit.
Yeah, right, right. And it's with like improvising, it's really fun too because it's like you're just kind of like skating over like a sound. And so you can go, like when I say that, like okay, like C major as a sound or like F minor as a sound or something like that,
Yeah.
or something to the effect of that, and then just kind of move around it and like see, like one of the things I've been enjoying a lot is like trying to play like outside a little bit. So like,
Yeah.
for example, like play in a particular key and then like move like a half step outside of it and see how it sounds, but like try to tie it into a phrase so that it sounds, not too like tense or anything like that.
Right. And you have to, like I said, you have to land in the proper note.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
it's like when you go outside of, I guess, your scale or because when we
Right.
when we're playing, let's say if we're playing in D minor, right? There's a series of notes where we expect to hear. But that's
Yeah.
something that I saw you do at NAM this past year when we're jamming. I think we're jamming Spain with Calais.
Yeah. That was
Started
kind of
going, you
fun.
started going outside, and I was like, oh, I like that. It's something that you're not expecting, and I think that's just like it's just such a great feeling to hear when you hear something that's tastefully done, that's kind of outside the normal scale or what you're supposed to hear.
Right. It's something that I very much enjoy listening to myself as well. Because yeah, I mean, there's a bit of, I mean, that's what, right? I mean, not to oversimplify what we do, right? But like in a lot of ways, music, you can think of it as just being like expectation and the delivery or the not or not delivering
Right.
that, I should say. And that's where like creating a line like that can be really nice because you might be like hinting at moving outside and then don't, or
Yeah,
you
yeah,
might
yeah,
hint
yeah.
at move outside and then go out of space or something like that. And that's, I don't know, it's just really fun. So
And do you utilize that with like passing tones?
yeah, I think it was like 2 years ago, like I just actively really wanted to put like more chromaticism in like my playing just in general, and part of it was like trying to get like bebop language under my fingers, which is like still just like drowning in because it's just
Dude,
ridiculously hard.
I mean, it's
but it's fun.
Yeah, I mean with jazz, like passing tones, that's like it's like a staple that you always hear in jazz.
Yeah, for sure. Like I remember learning, taking lessons like guitar lessons in high school, and my guitar teacher, excuse me, taught me like pentatonic this or whatever the case is, and
Yeah.
I had such a hard time trying to create the connect between like how can you take this pentatonic box, these notes or whatever, and then make it into like a fluid line or a fluid idea.
Mm.
And it's crazy because things like, yeah, passing tones opens up that vocabulary immensely because it's like, yeah, from one note, we can get like four notes out of this one note, or
Right.
something to the effect of that. Three, right? Maybe we can argue. So,
And yeah, it's just like don't stop in the wrong area.
right. And that's, yeah. Yeah. That's so challenging.
And the thing with I always say that when it comes to just music in general, the hardest aspects is one is going to be songwriting and two is
Mhm.
going to be improvisation because you can learn the
Yeah.
tools how to do both, but everyone that's where the art
Yeah.
side comes in, right? Like we'll never sound like each other when it comes to soloing. And that's where it's
Right.
just like you have the tools, you make it your own. Versus like if we all try to cover a song and it's not the same, right? Or I mean, maybe a little bit differences here and there,
Yeah.
but that's why I think improvisation is probably the hardest aspect of music. It's because it comes completely from within.
Hmm.
So yeah, man, that's good stuff, man. Good stuff. It's just
Yeah.
and so when did you start your teaching journey? I mean when you got into organ because I know that
Mhm.
you're really, really busy and you have been for like the past 3 years with teaching students, right?
Yeah. I first started teaching when I was actually like probably like a year or so after like starting to learn how to play ukulele. Just kind of like I had like a neighborhood friend, a younger kid, who wanted to learn. So that's, you go over and teach for $5 or whatever. Um, but okay, so anyway, to answer your question. So leading up to that, so I've been teaching since then. So that was probably since I was like about 10 or 11 or whatever the case
Oh
is.
wow.
And then getting my first class actually when I was a senior in high school, which was really fun to do. Um, but I've just been kind of consistently teaching this whole time, and so especially within since being in Oregon and whatnot, and really what it was actually was moving up to Seattle
Mm.
is where I made teaching my kind of like full time gig. So yeah, I mean I've been very fortunate and very blessed that this is yeah, I just basically teach and perform now. But because when I was in Oregon, I was still working in the shop a little bit, like
Yeah,
part
yeah.
time and stuff like that. But yeah, when I moved up here, I decided, oh, I'm just gonna go all in. Like worst case, like if
Hey,
you mess
that's the
up,
good mindset to have.
yeah,
You got to
well,
go all in.
now's the time. That's I feel like more than one person said that. Like my good friend Tyler Gilman was like that. It's like don't wait. Don't wait. Just go.
Right.
So
And I forget, I think it was Arnold who actually said the worst plan to have is to also have a plan B.
yeah,
Right. So I mean that's just how I lived my life throughout even my dad came up to me. It was right before I came up with the first album and goes, "You sure you want to do this? Because it's not gonna be easy." So he kind of gave me like that choice, and I was like,
yeah,
"Yeah, I want to go for it." And I never really looked back, but that's the mentality I have. And
awesome.
yeah, just having the plan B is really not good because you cannot focus 100% into plan A.
Right, right,
Right.
right. I'm such a big advocate, especially in teaching and stuff like that too. But it's like you gotta make the jump, like make the full
Yeah.
jump with 2 feet. Don't jump with 1 foot. Yeah.
Right. Right. You
Hmm.
have to jump in the deep water, and eventually you'll learn how to swim out in there.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And part of it too, I always like to mention, especially in these cases, is like I've been very fortunate and blessed too to have these opportunities to be able to do that,
Mm.
to have those opportunities to be able to take risks like this, um, meaning like so much support from my family and friends and stuff like that who have always been just so supportive. So couldn't do it without it,
For
without
sure,
everyone.
man.
It takes a village, so.
Definitely, definitely. All right, let's touch up on a subject or yeah, subject that I think we all want to know is your unique ukulele.
Hey.
Yeah. Can
Well,
you can you showcase that thing a little bit?
I might have it right here.
Yeah, and the coolest part is when we ever me and my ukulele friends meet up, we're always passing the ukuleles around. We're like, oh, because they're very iconic. I know everyone like at this level, everyone has a custom. You know, it's like you can't find it in the store, so it's just so much fun, especially during NAM where everyone's just like, all right, let me try Neal's now, let me try Clay's, let me try Chris's. You know, it's so yeah. So what's so unique
Oh
about this
yeah.
one? I mean, just that headstock, I gotta say, just one of the most unique things I've ever
So
seen.
number one, yes, you got the slapper, the slapper. That's what I call it. No, no. Yeah, you
And
got
it's
this pretty massive
surprisingly
headstock.
light too.
Yes,
I was very
yes.
surprised.
Me too. When I first opened that case, I was like thinking it was gonna be kind of like this a little bit, but it's actually fairly balanced. Like I'm holding it right now. There's a little bit of support coming from, but I'm just basically balancing it on my pinky, and so it's pretty
That,
even.
yeah, that's a cool ukulele.
But yeah, it's a great fella. So this is a Ko Aloha Black Label. Been a Ko Aloha sponsored artist for some time now. But this is basically what it is. It's a their black labels are their full customs. And basically what Grizz did was he took the kind of dimensions of their concert size ukulele and blew it up a little bit. And so you're gonna note, that the body is a little bit thinner, a little bit smaller. And I think that's
Oh,
kind of
okay.
nice because the wood choice here is that we have a cedar top. And it escapes me what type of cedar. I apologize. And then we have a Brazilian rosewood on the back and the sides. And
Oh, is it Brazilian?
oh yeah, I mean rosewood. No, no, but I mean having this, real dense back and sides and this real loose top, especially with the low G too, makes it to be a really warm sounding ukulele and
Mm.
kind of boomy. And I think that having that smaller body, I think, helps kind of control that low end a little bit, which I really like.
Ah, yeah, I totally forgot that it was like like the body was like a hybrid.
Right. Yeah.
But I remember I tried it when we did the Chris. Was it what was it a Christmas thing last year?
Yeah.
Was
I just got a notification on Facebook or whatever for it. And I was like, oh, wow, I can't believe that was already last year with Arlie, right?
yeah. But was it a Christmas concert? I'm like I can't look.
I feel like it
I
was,
can
right?
remember things from our contest, but I can't remember something from last year.
I think I'm pretty sure it was a Christmas. I'm pretty sure it
Right,
was.
or
Yeah, it
something.
was. It was. It was.
Right. So
It was.
the Christmas show we did, I remember I got to try ukulele and man, it's a killer uke, man. I
Thank
didn't
you.
want to put it down.
Such a
Yeah,
lovely stuff. And the neck
and
is
you were able to pay tribute to your home on there,
yeah,
your
yeah.
home
So I got
island,
to
which is
I gotta do a little polish. I have to admit, it's a little
yeah, well, slacking,
though.
bro.
I know. I gotta change strings too, but no, yeah, it's got always growing up, you'd always see like the custom ukuleles with the initials and stuff like yours too. It looks so nice. Um, and so I figured, you know what, I go try something different. And so I figured, go put Maui.
Yeah, that's very unique, and especially the way you did it. I think you have one on the backside, right, too.
So this one was my idea, just to have it on 10 and 12. But Grizz decided to put one on the bottom too, on the bottom bow.
Yeah, that's so cool. And is that
It
coil
was
binding?
nice. And yes, koa binding. Yeah.
Man, I love that combination with the rosewood, the cedar. I mean, I've seen the combination with spruce too, but
Yeah.
the coil binding, it's such a cool design.
Yeah, I like it too. I love koa binding. Oh, it's just so nice. So
Oh
nice.
man, yeah, man, that headstock. I swear, like especially with koalas, you don't see a slotted head with koalas that often.
Right.
And
Right.
I'm guessing that's abalone.
Yep. Yeah. Yep.
Nice,
All up and down. Yeah.
killer man, killer. Oh
Thanks,
man,
man.
but yeah. So another aspect of I guess in our current careers is the being able to travel. You know,
Hmm.
we've seen each other. We saw Uke University. Oh man, that was a blast. That
Yeah,
was two
that
years
was
ago.
nice. Yeah, that was 2 years ago. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man, it was funny. Me, you, and Arden were jamming,
Yes.
and I remember we were jamming in the kitchen, right? And then Craig came and he scolded us to be quiet.
Oh, I remember that with Milo too. Milo
Oh,
on
yeah,
bass
Milo.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, that's
yeah,
right. It was at the house, right? At the
right,
house.
right. I
Craig
just
was
remember saying, "Okay,
sleeping.
guys, you got to be quiet now." And I'm like, "Oh," we're like, "Oh, we're in
Yeah.
school again," and we got in trouble. Oh man, that
So
was
yeah,
that
no,
was
I remember that because all of us just like kind of bowed our head, just kind of like,
yeah.
okay, sorry, Papa Craig. Sorry,
Papa
Papa
Craig.
Craig.
Yeah, because he just got
Oh,
because I mean for the most part he's pretty like jolly and he's laid back,
oh
but then
yeah.
he goes
Oh
when he
yeah.
when there's work to be done then serious Craig comes out.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, and then that's what
Exactly.
we felt. He's like, "Hey kids, put the ukuleles away. It's like 11 o'clock," and then I was like, "Oh
Yeah.
wow," but I was laughing at the same time too because I was like, "Wow!" I feel like the principal just came in.
Right, exactly. That was the feeling. Yeah, I was like, oh, okay.
Oh man,
Oh,
but
so true.
even I mean, and the fact that we got to teach in a classroom for that event was just I never
It was
thought that day
fun.
would ever come.
That was fun. That was super fun. Yeah, I just
Yeah,
love, I mean, the way the whole that whole festival is organized and whatnot, and the whole team does a fantastic job at like making it like really nice for the artist, you know? I mean,
right.
yeah, I don't
And
know.
it's just like
I
just
love all of them in band immensely. I have such a
yeah,
special place in my heart for them. So,
yeah. That was it was great, and it's just such a big community aspect to that festival.
yeah, exactly.
You
Like
know,
you have,
everyone's walking around, everyone's going to class. I know it's just like wow, that's
yeah.
just the coolest thing.
You know, like hangout places, right? Where like the stage was, and I love how they did like the stuff with the kids too. That was one of the things that
Oh
I
right,
always
you. I
loved
remember you
doing
taught
too.
like Wipeout, right? To
Yeah,
class. Yeah, I
exactly.
remember that. I remember I sat in because I remember like
Yeah,
I think 2018 was the point where I started getting a little bit more comfortable
yeah.
teaching. I mean,
Okay,
because you've been teaching, like you said, you've been teaching since you were like 12 or something. You said 12, right?
something around there.
But you've
I'd say
been, I
about
mean,
that.
and I
Yeah.
just started teaching like 2015. So it's and then when back in Hawaii, like I didn't learn music theory until 2016. So I really
Mhm.
didn't know what I was doing. I was going completely by ear.
Yeah.
So like my friends here, right? The way you learn in Hawaii is not. It's just pretty much. Oh yeah, go press that right there, and you hold and you copy, right? And
Right.
you know the basic A minor F G7, but then once
Yeah.
you get
Yeah.
out of the shallow water, I call it, and you start
Yeah.
going up the fretboard, it's like you don't really know what you're doing,
So
right?
true.
It's just like
So
oh
true.
press that over there, and so like my first tour to California, well,
Hmm.
Craig hosted it was in San Diego,
Hmm.
and he's like, okay, you're gonna teach a workshop, and I was like, what is a workshop? And I just remember how nervous I was because there's so much structure for
Yeah.
like the mainland learning system or just in general learning, like for the ukulele circuit, right? Everything is so structured versus back
Hmm.
here where it's just like, okay, we go press a couple chords over there, we go jam. And it's just
That's true.
just adapting to that was pretty hard. So like in the first couple of years, man, I just had this fear of workshops, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna suck at it because that's just. But after I think university was the event that really helped me and got me comfortable teaching. Because
Hey,
after I was like,
nice.
oh, and then Craig's like, how'd it go? I'm like, oh, it went pretty good. But yeah, I mean
That's awesome.
now it's a lot easier and it's a lot more fun because I know what I'm talking about now versus 2015. I didn't know what I was talking about.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing too. Like for I'd imagine, I mean I can only imagine, yeah. Like for someone like you, like learning by ear and learning all these great songs, doing all this like writing and recording and all this
I know
stuff.
I don't even know how I did that.
I mean that's the thing. That's all. That's you're doing. You know what I mean? Like you're out there making stuff, you know. And so like I feel like the like learning how to teach, it's a kind of almost like a natural progression, from like it seems like of what you're like doing, and
Yeah.
uh, that's it makes sense, I guess is what I'm saying, like you're Andrew Molina, you know, like yeah.
Man.
So
Yeah.
that's super cool that I'm glad that that you enjoy it though, or
Oh no, for sure. Like
enjoy
I
the
have
job.
I have a few students now, and I love helping them connect the dots. So it's funny. It's something that 5 years ago I really, and it wasn't because I didn't like it, just because I didn't like it. It was because I was
Right.
insecure about teaching. But now
Yeah,
it's
for
something that
sure.
I'm comfortable. I brushed up on my theory, so now it's something I enjoy because it's
Sick.
something I can explain finally.
Yeah, yeah. And you learn
Yes.
it twice too, right now.
Yeah. No. When you teach, you're reviewing to yourself too, and
Right,
which is a really cool thing. So, oh, I wasn't thinking about that before the lesson. It just makes you
right.
think. So and it's just it's cool, man. But yeah. So since you've been quite, you've been around different areas. Where has been? the most unique traveling experiences for you?
Hmm. You know, it's only been so I've only been really like traveling and playing, I feel like since like 2016. Well, that was 2015, maybe. I think that was
Mm.
the first ukulele festival that I started doing. So my travels are still relatively limited, but the one that I definitely have a very sweet affection for is I love going up to Canada. I've
Oh,
had the pleasure of doing some stuff in Vancouver and on Vancouver Island too, and part of it is also being in a different country, even though it's
oh man.
Canada, like it's close, you know.
Yeah.
But I taught at this camp for the first time. It was I think this would have been my third year, but this kind of like folk music camp, and
Okay.
it's such a lovely experience. It's just like a 5-day camp. You get like a cabin, and you just like basically have lessons, throughout the day. And there's some places where you can go hike. There's like a nice like little watering place where you can go swim in, like a nice river spot and whatnot. And there are a bunch of just people who just want to just like be soaked in music, and it's multi-instrumental too. So ukulele is an add-on to what they're
Oh,
doing,
okay.
but there's a lot of there's a ton of guitar players, ton of fiddle players. um, the ukulele segment started to grow, so there's been more ukulele representation too, which has been really cool. But um, I really enjoy that because we just basically just play music all week long. Like as soon as we're done, teaching, it's like, let's go kick up our feet, grab dinner from the cafeteria type place, and the food was really good too. And just go
Oh
find
man.
a bench, and like there's three of us. What do you guys want to play? Oh, I don't know. Let's toss around songs, and it was just like it's just super fun.
And that's
I
just
miss
a
it
great
immensely.
environment is when everyone is like on the same wavelength. It's like, oh, we go jam this, this, and this just, yeah. I mean, I wish I was in that environment more often. And yeah, so I know what I know what that feels like, and it's just, yeah, it's such an awesome feeling. And just, yeah, like you said, being in another country is just, it's just so fun because I mean, we've taken trips here and there, probably like gone to Disneyland and stuff like that. But then once you start getting out of the country, then it gets a little more interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
But
It's
see,
it's it's still exciting to like do it for work. You know what I mean? To
oh
like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know, like that. I still get super jazzed of like the idea of like someone being like, "Hey, I'm gonna like you should travel state lines to come and do your thing here." I'm like, "Don't you want to find somebody in your state?" Or something like,
Yeah,
it's always a pleasure and an honor, I guess. I've always I don't know.
no, for sure. Oh man, no, dude, we're
Still
taking an
fun.
RV, man. We're
Hey, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
yeah, there's still so many states we haven't seen, and just yeah, just it's interesting to see the appreciation for the ukulele, like out of your basic home area.
Yeah.
Like probably like you saw when you went to Canada, and then when I went to the UK, it's so interesting. They're just like I've never seen anything like it where it's just like it's so community based and people. So there's this. We're staying at this hotel, right? And it's like all a lot of the guests are staying there too that go to the festival.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if I told you, but it's like it's kind of like a bar slash like there's tables there. They serve food and stuff, but people go there around 8 p.m. and they like leave at like 3 a.m. And they're
Oh,
strumming the entire time, which I thought was like the
wow.
coolest thing. It's
Yeah.
just and everyone's
Sick.
so happy. There's not one bit of negativity in that room. So it's just
Oh, that's sick.
like just going halfway around the world and seeing the ukulele appreciated and just people having fun. It's just I don't know. It's just a unique feeling, and
Yeah.
you've probably seen some things like that too. I mean, even when you go to the West Coast and just seeing everybody, we have a ukulele group. I was like, wow, I don't think there's an ukulele group in Hawaii.
Yeah, right. That was my reaction too. That was one of the first things I feel like that just blew me away living. I mean,
Right.
first in Eugene and then up here is just how much like and how often, people like get together to play ukulele. Like there's at least up here, especially before the pandemic hit, like
Right.
every week there was something going on. Like I would say at least like 3 different ukulele things if you wanted to within like 10 to 15 minutes of driving, or 15 to 20, we'll say, of driving.
Yeah,
So
and I don't know what that is because it's like over here there's like I think I don't want to go on record saying this, but I'm pretty sure there's zero here, right? It's maybe
I
because
don't
the
know.
ukulele is just like, oh, it's like, I get one ukulele in my closet, it just kind of, it just has a different presence in here because it's like it was popularized in Hawaii versus like people that on the main, like, oh, we have this new cool little instrument that we all want to play. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, because a
Sure.
lot of like, I mean, here you learn it in school, but it's not like I think some people just take it to get out of PE.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Kind of, yeah, yeah. I don't know.
yeah, or just like,
Right.
I think sometimes it can be a little overlooked here, which is weird, right? You would expect it to be like, oh, there's groups everywhere, but no. When you go West Coast, that's where it's hip. And so
Right.
that's one of the coolest things that I noticed when I started traveling. Yeah, I started traveling around the same time as you, 2015, 2016,
Well, I guess so,
and
yeah.
just seeing the ukulele finally, I guess, getting the acknowledgement and appreciation that it deserves is just like, wow, this is just incredible to see, and it's insane.
Yeah. I agree
Um,
with you, man. I agree with you.
Definitely, definitely, and see, you have a couple albums out, right?
Mhm.
And I think last time I talked to you, you were talking about maybe doing a. Were you doing a third one?
Oh, perpetually. I've been making this third album since the second one came out. I've been working on this third one.
I know. I was gonna say. I think you told me that like 4 years ago.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, long story short, there was a third record that was in motion. There were some recordings that were already done. It was gonna be really great. It had Milo on it. We were gonna do Black Sand, Call Upon His Black Sand. It was really
Oh,
cool.
right,
A bunch of
right.
others recordings, but it didn't work out. It ended up not working out. It ended up being a thing that happened. So it didn't really work out. It didn't really work out. But so yeah, I mean, I've since kind of just like philosophically been trying to figure out what that third record would be, because at first I was just gonna punch out arrangements again. That was kind of the second album, was just to
Yeah,
like follow up that first one, and so I felt really rushed doing it. I
right. Were
mean,
you gonna
all the
have like a
tracking
different?
was done in like 2 days, so it was or three
Oh,
days.
wow.
It was
Well,
kind
it's
of
mainly
exhausting, but
solo, yeah.
that one, it's a little bit of both. It's a
Oh
little
no,
bit of
yeah,
both.
you had Milo on it, right?
Yeah, I got Milo and
Oh, right
like
on.
drummer Merlin too.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah, but
So, so for
yeah.
this third one, did you want to go into like a different direction or have a different theme than the first two?
Yeah, because at first it was just gonna be like more standards, because that's kind of like, that's kind of like the track that I've been on, it's just like really been, oh, I got a great arrangements of all these standards, so I should put them together, and I got some of my own, songs and stuff like that too, but
Yeah.
nothing to write home about, but
Oh man, you should
um
you should rearrange Toccata version 3. Yeah, I mean, it's hard, man. I mean, like I said, like, because how many originals have you written? And then I know you said you have a
oof.
couple.
So like recorded, I would say like I have like maybe 4, 5,
Okay,
off of
you
two
had
records put
the Sky
together.
is Made of Cotton, right? Is one of them.
6, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
the sky
it's
is
just
made of cotton. Oh, yeah, good to
right,
know.
right. I know. Like it's such a unique title, so I remember that one.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And like I have sketches and stuff like that too, but you know, it's one of those
Yeah,
things.
there's a lot of unfinished projects,
Hmm.
and it's like a lot of times I forget how to play them, and just kind of goes out the window.
It's true.
So I guess we'll have to wait and see where this mystery third album comes out.
Yeah, it's one of the things too with this whole quarantine, which I admittedly I've just like, I mean, I don't know about you, but like I feel like half the time I'm having a hard time getting motivated or staying motivated. And
That was the hardest part in the beginning. It's just like, because for me, like, I'm really motivated when I have momentum. So so I literally set up a tour after my album release, right? Boom, that got
right,
taken away. So I
right,
couldn't go on tour. So it was just like I was finding myself literally from like, I remember, and my dad would be like, you gotta get over it, right? But it's just like when I have something to look forward to, that keeps me going. So the fact that I
Right.
couldn't see anything close, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do with myself.
Right.
So that was
Yes.
it. Just adjusting was hard. And I mean, certain days I'm just like, I have like for me, I have major like island fever going on.
Oh, yeah.
Like at least you can like drive in a car if you really wanted to. You could go to another state, but like I'm really stuck here. Yeah, I could go to Hana. Yeah, I could go to Lahaina. Was that like 40 minutes?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's
Hold
just
on.
yeah, and then still yet it's kind of hard to get super focused. And it's like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
next year will be good, but we don't know. You know?
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah, so it's just yeah. So I guess before we say goodnight, I just wanted. Do you have any? What are your big aspirations, like currently? Do you have any like big goals?
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So, my my long-term goal, my long-term dream, I should say, and this really was ever since I was younger too, would be to one day go back to Maui and open up a school. I would love
Oh
to open up
wow!
an ukulele school, kind of like what Roy Sakuma does on Oahu, but like smaller. Maybe, I mean, who knows, if we get that big or whatever, but just like a small little humble studio where I could just live to, and do my thing there. So that's always been my like long-term
Oh
goal.
man, that's awesome, dude. Neal Chin's tasty noodles, and
And we
people
can
won't
open
know.
up, yeah, the right, I go right next to you got to get a good chef. We got to ask the kind, Sheldon.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I went to Lineage yesterday. Oh, the noodles. Speaking of the noodles, it was so good.
Was it? Oh,
It
dude, I
was.
wanted to go so bad when I was back last time.
Oh man, we
Man, it
might
was
have to go when
good.
you come back. That place is so
It's
good.
so good.
And I had the wagyu kalbi.
Oh,
That was
this
oh
wag.
bro.
That must have been
It was
ridiculous.
so good, man. But yeah, speaking of yeah, tasty noodles, man, you could do a thing where you teach and then you could also have like a side side kitchen. You could put your logo on it or something. So it's a you get kind of fits into the pun.
Right. I'll open up next to Tin Roof. I'm super down. I'm super down.
Yeah, no, and I think like I said, there's not much ukulele activity going on in Maui, so I think, man, I think that's a great idea.
And both my parents are educators. My dad works at
Oh,
the university, and my mom. Well, she's retired now. Well, she's still part-time works. I'm pretty sure. I forget exactly what it is she does. Terrible, but I mean, basically retired from the DOE though.
oh,
So
okay, okay.
it's really nice because I grew up around teachers my whole life, and
Mm.
so I feel like that was how I first started teaching and got a lot of my like teaching gigs when I was younger and stuff. But
Oh, okay, okay.
um, yeah. Anyway, that would be like a link we would work, maybe towards the school or something like that because But anyway, that's a long-term goal. Yes, I'm just babbling now.
That's
Would be
cool, man.
to
That's cool.
one day get back and open up that school. But in the meantime, that's a long term. In the meantime, me to like maybe finally finish this third record.
There we go.
Maybe finish that Charlie Parker solo, or whatever.
Uh,
Been playing more piano to get better
oh,
piano.
really?
Yeah. I
Oh,
mean,
nice.
nothing good,
I want
but
to see
like,
a solo next time.
oh, oh. It's like it's so choppy. It's like chord, and I go "Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da," chord, "Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da," chord. It's like
And I mean,
not
it's
too
hard
exciting.
to like translate to another instrument. Like, I don't think I could go to an instrument that's not a stringed instrument.
Yeah, that's the trip. Yeah, it's such a trip to like. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
like I mean, I bought like a harmonica like a couple months ago, and I can't even play the damn thing because like this is harder than I thought. I wanted to try and get like a melodica.
Oh, dude, those are
It sounds so interesting, and it has that that it just has like kind of that European sound to it. Because
dude.
I think Abe brought it into what was it? What was it? A Hoppers, right? And he just started
What's
playing. I was like, oh, that
right,
thing is so cool, right?
right.
Portable.
It kind of sounds like a accordion,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
right?
Oh,
That's right.
it's
Abe used it for La Vie en Rose with Cynthia Lynn. I remember
oh,
that.
okay, okay, yeah. I remember he was carrying that around. I'm just like,
Yeah.
that's pretty unique. It's like hybrid between like an accordion and you got the keys to play with.
It's
Yeah, maybe
fun.
one day I'll get one of those. And then they I always see those ads for like the kalimba.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it has the notes on it, so you can just make your chords right there. It's a little bit easier. But yeah, I don't know. For me, I was never like a with the like the woodwind instruments and like saxophone.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like where you have to breathe. I just those are always hard for me.
Yeah, dude. I totally feel you. I totally feel you. It's such a foreign thing to think about, like what to
Yeah,
make sound. But
yeah, no. Maybe bass or something. I might try to learn one song on the bass. We'll see.
yeah, dude. I mean, gosh, man, that's yeah, that would be that's another one on my list too. Get better at bass.
Yeah.
Definitely get better at bass. Yeah, because yeah, yeah. Plus, hey, you get
Yeah,
you
no,
get
he
you get
was
a
he was
good
showing me
bass
he
player.
my dad was showing me some stuff earlier this year. I was like, hey, can you show me like and I was like, what is your approach to soloing? And he goes, oh, I just do it. I'm like, oh, thanks. He goes by feel, he goes by
Right,
feel.
right.
I'm just like
Does it?
I was like, that doesn't help, but thanks.
Right, yeah.
But I mean that's how it comes. I mean that's how
Right,
like we said, improvisation comes, songwriting comes.
right.
There's no guide. I mean, like you could tell me like for if you're telling me tips on soloing, you could tell me tips, but how I approach it is gonna be, I guess, from me. That's
Yeah,
the interest. I mean, that's the cool part of music, really,
yeah.
where you can be creative.
I think so. I think so. Yeah, you got to do it, right? Like
Yeah,
that's the thing. You just got to do it. You just got to do it.
yeah. Jump in the deep water.
Just do it. Yeah, yeah. I mean, like of all things, it's not like we're like, if you like mess up, it's not like you're gonna hurt yourself. Not like anything bad really
Yeah,
gonna
unless a
happen.
lot of people are watching you, then
Right, right, right.
I don't want
Which,
to
hey,
mess
that's a
up.
whole nother game, right? No.
Yeah, practice first, and then you can practice in front of people.
Right, right, right. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Dang.
Exactly.
Well, it was good having you on, man. Good talking story.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. It's good to talk
And
story with you.
yeah, if you guys are out there looking for ukulele lessons, check out my friend Neal Chin, great teacher and a fantastic musician.
Hey, thanks, man. Thanks, man.
Yeah, until next time, good to see you, man.
Hey, let's do it again. Let's do it again. Thanks, man. Thanks for
Uh,
having me.
yeah, thank you.